video I want to share a few tips on how to find your way around the neck in open E tuning. Now most of us come from standard tuning, so the first time we start to look at the tuning, we feel a bit lost because all the patterns and chord shapes kind of go out the window. So I want to share a few ideas I've got and what helped me learning the neck. Now, two really useful scales are the major and minor pentatonic scales. Now they're used by a lot of slide guitarists, and we tend to learn them in up and down vertical patterns, which is great. But another thing you can do is learn them on one string. But before you do that, I think it's important to understand how those two scales are built. Keep in mind all scales are built from the major scale. For example, the major pentatonic borrows 5 notes from the major scale or simply leaves 2 out. What's important is the distance between each note. A distance of a tone is 2 frets. A semitone is 1 fret. When learning scales, this concept is easy to see on one string at a time, and I recommend learning this way, especially for slide guitar. Of course, when learning scales vertically or switching strings, the visual stacks up differently. But I have another trick we'll get to in a moment on that. For the minor pentatonic, we flatten the 3rd and the 7th degree, a distance of a semitone or 1 fret. It's one thing to visually see it, but if you can hear the intervals, that's even better. With a little practice and ear training, you could certainly improve your ear. Now, most people start with the major and minor pentatonics in the open position. It's incredibly useful, especially around the first 3 to 4 frets. Now, while vertical up and down patterns are a really effective way to learn, I have some other tricks that will help you internalize this stuff more effectively. First thing you can do is learn these scales on one string. This will gradually build muscle memory. Now, of course, when you learn a scale on the 1st string, you're actually inadvertently learning it on the 4th string and the 6th string because they're the same. The second thing you can do is get deep with the intervals within the scales and learn to identify the root notes, the 3rds, the 5ths, and so on. Okay, so let's find the root notes. You've got 3 open strings to start with. The 5th fret, 8th fret, 3rd string, up on the 12th fret. So learn your root notes of the key and then know where all the intervals are of the scale. Now, a good way to do this is to get the blank diagrams and write it in yourself. The more times you do it, the more it's just going to stick and you're going to remember it. Then your 5ths in the open strings. then your sixth, then you've got the bluesier sounding notes like the flattened thirds. Your flattened sevenths. And then on the 10th fret,